Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is the topic of why subjectiveness is ruining entertainment. And what I mean by that for this video is when it comes to how subjectiveness is ruining entertainment, is why the mindset of subjectiveness is ruining entertainment. Whether it's story-based media, such as TV shows, movies, video games, and even to a lesser extent music, okay? So that's what I'll be talking about today. So if you want to know why subjectiveness is ruining entertainment, I will explain to you in a simple and straightforward way so anyone can understand it, okay? So now I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to the topic of why subjectiveness is ruining entertainment, specifically mainly focusing on story-based media for this video, it simply comes down to the fact of the matter that it's simply hands down, the problem with it is that it doesn't give straightforward answers, okay? And as a problem with story with subjectiveness, okay? It doesn't give a straightforward answer, okay? And when you're creating entertainment, okay, whether story-based, which I'll be covering mainly for this video, or even music for that matter, the truth of the matter is you need to have something that gives straightforward answers. Because the thing is, like anything in the world, there is something known as a pattern, okay? Like, if there wasn't something known as a pattern, there wouldn't be something known as cliches, which you see in story-based media more like, such as TV shows, movies, video games, particularly, to put it bluntly, which is what as I said, I'm focusing mainly on for this video. There wouldn't be common tropes that they use all the time, okay? Which shows that there is a basic definitive rule on what people are going to consider entertainment, you know, and not just entertainment, more specifically are going to consider enjoyable to watch, okay? If that was not the case, there wouldn't be certain rules that they write and teach people, okay? Especially when you look at the fact that literally most of our media, you know, specifically story-based media and even music, of course, no shit, is mainly primarily based off of knowledge that's been passed down from thousands of years, because they've realized when you do things a certain way, it makes it more likely people are going to watch it, you know. And obviously if you're making entertainment for a lot of people through a big company, in honesty, common sense 101 is it's going to indicate that you're going to focus on what the majority of people are going to like, you know, so you can determine that obviously as a result, you know, what is going to generate the most revenue for you, because that's what the majority of people like. So there is definitely a fundamental rule. And even though it might not determine what literally everybody likes, it does promise a certain structure of quality. So pretty much everybody, you know, likes it in one way or the other, okay? You know, but specifically, of course, mainly to keep it simple, we'll just say what the majority of people like, you know, and that's honest truth here for that matter, okay? To be quite blunt and honest with you, okay? That is why we have rules for it. But the thing is, of course, now expanding on my point why subjectiveness sucks in greater detail, is that subjectiveness teaches people that everything you do is right, okay? That is the problem with subjectiveness. And subjectiveness teaches you, with its way of thinking, that everything you do, no matter how you look at it, is correct in one way or the other, okay? And that is the honest truth about subjectiveness. It teaches you everything is correct, okay? So even if you, let's say for example, are playing music and you're not even playing sonically very well, you're all over the place, don't have basic structure, it literally sounds like something you see from those cartoons where somebody's like playing really badly, like some child is just randomly jamming on the keys. Subjectiveness teaches you that every way you play something is correct, and there's not a basic fundamental structure of what people are gonna like, you know, hence aka the majority of people are gonna like, for that matter, when it comes to the quality of things. It teaches you everything you do is right, okay? Which is actually really dumb. And when it comes to story-based media specifically, it teaches you, okay, everything you make is right. Let's not focus on the fact that maybe you've been talking about the same exact you know, topic for the longest time, you know, like, you know, because yes, YouTube videos are that as well. It's a part of story-based media as well, because story-based media just means media that focuses primarily on telling a story. So of course, making YouTube videos is a form of story-based media, as well as the fact that it's obviously a form of entertainment. Or even if you're making a TV show or a movie, let alone a video game, you're just, of course, you know, covering the same exact topics over and over again and not trying anything new, to maybe the fact that your storylines, are maybe not well, thought out. Like, everything from the character dialogue is repetitive. They're using terms that, like, people even in like the 90s would have cringed at for saying this sounds cringy. It uses a bunch of cliches and all that type of stuff. It's not doing anything new. It's not being anything special or anything in any way, shape, or form. Like, it's just stupid. Like, there's nothing interesting or unique about it, let alone the fact that the plot is not really well thought out, and it just doesn't have anything fundamentally, most importantly of all, that makes it interesting to watch. There's not a good, in other words, to be more specific, there's not enough of a distinction between something that is the storyline for the video, for the let's just say the movie or something, using movies as an example for story-based media. Okay, there's not like a good distinction between covering a story part and the action scenes. Okay, like some movies, you'll literally have a 3-hour movie, it'll be like 2 hours before you have an action scene, and another hour towards the very end of it before you have another action scene. So it's like, do you think that's a fundamental formula that makes a movie entertaining for a majority of people? I think not. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to say. You should have a good balance between storyline and, of course, action scenes and all the other things I previously mentioned, like having a diverse range of creativity, to be quite blunt and honest with you, to, of course, having dialogue that actually is good, let alone having topics that people are going to be interested in, all that type of stuff that I got at, or at least was kind of getting at before. If you don't have those things, for that matter, then your movie's not going to be very entertaining to watch, let alone your story-based media you follow. It's going to be fucking boring. And that's a problem with subjectiveness. It teaches you everything you do is right no matter what. And that's one of the first major problems with subjectiveness. The other major problem is that it doesn't give straightforward answers, okay, for things, okay? Because, as I was saying before, earlier on in the video, story-based media is more than just simply TV shows, movies, and of course, video games. It can also be things that relate to real life, like questions like, what is the most influential artist of all time? It could be things like, who is the best artist of all time, like who can make a song the fastest, like what's the hardest instrument to use, like things that you watch pretty much, when you have like nothing else to watch, and specifically maybe when you're hungry, or whatever. It's entertainment, okay? And the problem with subjectiveness is it teaches you that there's no way to define anything properly. And a lot of what actually makes entertainment interesting is, of course, comparison. Who's a better artist of all time? Who made the most influential song of like the decade? Yada yada yada, all that type of shit. But in the end of the day, to be quite honest with you, no shit to anyone for that matter, okay? Subjectiveness teaches you is that everything is up to personal preference. There's no correct answer. It's hard to define. Everybody finds things difficult in different ways and stuff. It doesn't give straightforward answers. So as a result, it kills the ability, as well as the first point I mentioned, the fact that it doesn't give straight answers in a way of what makes something entertaining. Secondly, and for this point I'm getting at right now, it doesn't give straightforward answers to obviously the topic of like what can be done to show who is the best of the best, or what's the hardest of the hardest, and so on and so forth, when it comes to interesting trivia questions, which obviously a lot of entertainment, let alone story-based media, is of course story-based, comparison, competition-based questions. So that's a lot of what makes entertainment actually enjoyable, is comparison. Who made the best album? Who did this? Who did that? And that's what makes it interesting to watch, for that matter, okay? And that's exactly what I'm trying to get across here. Because at the end of the day, if everyone says everything's subjective, then what happens to award shows? What happens to competitions between rappers? Like that popular show, I forgot what it's called. I think it's it's called Versus or something, that popular rap show, like all that type of stuff, let alone freestyle battles, all that stuff for that matter. How do you make it entertaining for people to watch? You know, if you say, oh, everybody has personal different answers to the question, that's so dumb. So in short, that's another reason why subjectiveness ruins everything. It prevents comparison, and comparison also makes entertainment interesting because it's a good way to see who's a better one of the other one of the two of them, because it's interesting to compare people and see who's a better one. But subjectiveness doesn't do that because it teaches you everybody has different preferences. So in short, that is the reason why subjectiveness ruins entertainment. It doesn't give straightforward answers to any of it, whether it could be story-based media and even music. So that is the truth. So anyway, this is off to say for this video. And simply put, objectiveness is the way to make entertainment good. So anyway, just remember, if you like this video, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And as off to say, and simply put, I'm out. So bye.